Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Shipley webinar. If you guys are new here, we are trying to do these every other week, pretty much to help grow your Shipley knowledge and to help give you information to grow as a company too as well. And if you have seen these before, welcome back. So in this webinar, Craig, our account manager lead, is going to be walking us through a store build today. We're going to be starting from all the way from actually creating the online store to launching it. So this could be a little bit of a longer one, or we'll see how it goes. And we will also be opening up to questions at the end. So if you do have questions, you can either send them in the chat as we go, and we'll get to them at the end, or save them till the end, and we will answer them. So without further ado, Craig.
Awesome. Yeah, this is definitely going to be, thank you. This is definitely going to be like more of like an entry level store build. I'm not going to go into all the details that you might need on some of your stores. For those, definitely reach out to us so that we can help you with those minor details to lock in like personalization, multiple processes, things like that. But for today, this is more of like entry level. This will be really great for maybe like new employees or anyone who's new to the platform, or anyone who really just needs like a quick refresher, especially with the new updates that we've had recently. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So I am currently logged in as myself under an existing account. This is my dashboard. So this is where I can kind of see a preview of everything that I've got going on currently. So scheduled stores are stores that are a draft or like a work in progress. You might be waiting on some info from your contact before this store can go live or for it to be like approved. And then open stores are stores that are live and are collecting orders. And then over here, you can kind of see a preview of the success of that store while it is ongoing. And then for backordered stores, for a store to show up here, you have to manually label an item as backordered within the store. And then it sends the entire store down there just as a friendly reminder so you don't forget that you're waiting on some items. Another useful tool just from the dashboard right away is this all under all stores. From here, this is where you can see every store that's ever been built inside of your company's Chipley account. What's great about this is everyone has access to everyone's stores. So if one salesperson has built a really great store and you need to build a similar store, you could find that store. So for example, like if I needed a swim store, I could potentially piggyback off what Steve has done and copy his store and make it my own. And then I would just rebrand it to be for the company or the group that I'm working with. So I would upload the new artwork, any special items that they wanted on the store that may not have been on this store. But at least I can kind of take a launching point from someone else who I know had built the store out really well. But if you're starting a store from scratch, I'm going to come up here and hit add new, where I have 4 different store types to choose from. The group store is going to be generally for like your pop-up stores, your stores that are open for maybe 10 or 15 days or so. It's going to collect orders in bulk. When it shuts down, you're going to purchase everything, produce everything, and then get it all back to your customer as quickly as possible. And then I'm going to jump down to a catalog store because a catalog store also collects orders, but this is generally for a store that would be open for a long period of time. And you would process the orders as they come in. So maybe that's every week, maybe like the 1st and the 15th of every month, every other week. You can, whatever orders come in during that time period, whenever it batches, it's going to take all those orders, move it to a separate location for you to process separately, while the main store continues to stay open and collects orders for you to process again for the next batch. That just allows for generally a quicker turnaround time back to the customer. A template store is more of a store building tool. So this is more like if you find yourself using the same 10, 15, 20 items on every store, you could build that out as a template. Or if you have like a general spiritware selection of items versus maybe like a corporate selection of items, you could create yourself a template, spiritware template and a corporate template. And then depending on whoever you're working with, you could bring those items in very quickly, very easily. And then a requester store is more of like a sales tool. So instead of giving your customer the Sanmar, SNS, Under Armour, Nike links for the customer to pick through the tens of thousands of items that they all offer, you would narrow that selection down by picking your top maybe like 50 or 100 items, putting those onto the requester, and then you would send your potential customer that link um, because those would generally be items that you know have healthy inventory throughout the year, are profitable, are quality items to decorate on, things like that. So really, you're just narrowing your customers' selection of items that they could choose from to have on their store. We're going to do a group store today, just as the as our template or as our webinar, and we'll do. Oops. We'll just title it store build and I'll hit accept. And then right away, that takes me into the settings page of the store. There's a few things that I have to fill out here before I can even leave this page. One is the URL. A lot of times I end up just copying the store name and pasting it into the URL. Something I'm not going to do though is I'm not going to do like 24 or fall or anything like that that has a timestamp on it. And the reason being is because I may use this store again in the future. So if I copy this store, I can continue to use this URL over and over again. That way, the group that you're working with doesn't have to update any of their marketing materials. They can just continue to use that same link. The next thing I would fill out would be the organization. This would be who I'm working with specifically. So I always suggest to start typing in who you're potentially working with, who your customer is, because your company may have a really great database of customers that you've already worked with, and you can kind of piggyback off of what someone else has already done. So I might choose this organization, and then because I've chose this organization, most likely there might be a contact in there that I can reuse their info on. If it's a new person that I'm working with, or if it's a new organization, I would hit the plus button over here and I would give my organization a name. And then the zip code that's required for you to put in there, I would suggest putting in the theoretical bulk deliver or bulk ship to zip code. That just has to do with potential tax collection purposes later on, depending on where you're located. And then after you input that, I would upload our contact in here. Generally, the name and email address is what's most important because you'll have these automated emails turned on unless you've decided to turn them off in your account. But with these automated emails, when this store goes live right away, your contact would get an email right away with the live link saying, here's the link, share this with your group, start getting orders placed. They also get an email 3 days before the store closes and 1 day before the store closes, just as a friendly reminder to encourage their group to get orders placed in those last couple of days. You also, as the salesperson, get those emails as well to help you keep up with the store. And then your contact will also get this link and this password here, which is automatically generated by Chipley. This link and password will give them access to the like behind the scenes success of the store. So they could see who's placed orders, what they've ordered. If you have E-certs on your store, they can see who's used the E-certs. They can kind of track and manage the different E-cert usage throughout the life of the store. And then the last required thing on the settings page is the distribution. So this is how is the customer ultimately going to get their orders. You have three methods and you can use any combination of these three or all of them. And so the first one, distribute to, and then because my contact or my organization is Brookfield East Spiritware, that's what's filling in here. So if I select distribute to, I now have these options that I need to select. or is the organization, so is the contact that you're working with, are they going to come into your shop, into your location, pick everything up, and then go back to the school or the company and distribute everything from there? That would be organization pickup. And then if you have multiple branches, you would just want to select which branch specifically you want them to pick up from. Or are you planning on delivering to the group? That would be deliver to organization, and then shipping is just a bulk shipment to the group as well. Something to note here is depending on where you're located, if you have your tax type set to auto, um, organization pickup, the customers at checkout are going to be taxed based on wherever your location is, where the transfer of goods is being picked up from. However, if you do deliver or ship to organization, if you don't put in a more specific address here, the customer at checkout is going to be taxed based on the zip code that you put in down there. That's why I say to put in the theoretical bulk ship or bulk deliver to location, because if you don't put in a more exact address here, at least the customer would be taxed based on that zip code up there. The next thing would be single or multiple pickup locations. Single pickup location is when you want the end user to just pick up from one location. Maybe that's the school or the company that they work at. Generally, this is a very popular option. And if I were to leave this exactly how it is, the customer at checkout would see pickup from Brookfield East Spiritware. So it's going to fill in at the checkout page whatever the title of your organization is. So if this isn't specific enough to the end user, I could override that in this custom econ display. So I might be able to put in the message like pick up from main office. And now the customer knows that they can pick up their order at the main office of the school or pick up from field 3 or see blank person for pickup options. Whatever I type in there is what's going to be seen at checkout. The multiple pickup locations, this is a really great tool to use in tandem with the deliver to organization or the ship to organization. This is more for if you plan to split your deliveries or split your shipments across multiple locations. So if I'm if I'm doing a store for a corporate account and they have 3 separate branches and they want me to deliver branch A's orders to just branch A and branch B's orders to just branch B and so on, I would put in the different addresses that I want the customer at checkout to pick from. And then that way, 2 things happen. One, I can organize my orders when I'm packing them by that selection that they made. And then 2, the customer is going to be taxed based on that specific location because that's where the transfer of goods is happening. Again, that's all dependent on if you have auto selected as your tax type. If you have a flat rate, none of this will change what that tax type is. It's going to charge the customer that flat percent at checkout every time. Or same thing with tax exempt. Customer in-store pickup, this would just be if I place an order, I'm showing up to Burkhart's New Berlin and I'm saying, here's my order number. Someone runs in the back, grabs my order, and then I go home. And then ship to customer, this would be if you plan to ship the individual orders to individual homes. And then you would just want to be sure to pick your shipping method that you prefer. We have some default shipping methods already set up for you. If those are not, if there's not a method in there, a dollar amount that you wish to charge, just let us know and we can help walk you through how to add those. And then also, if you have a ShipStation account and you're not integrated, you should reach out to us so that we can do that. With a ShipStation integration, you can charge the customers the exact rate based on the weight of their cart and the service that you're using to ship out. This gives a more dynamic shipping charge to make sure that you're collecting the exact dollar amount that you need to. So after I have a method selected here, generally, the next thing I would do is change my open and close date. If you want the store to go live as soon as you're ready, you generally don't have to change the open date. If you want the store to go live at a future date, then I would make sure that I add that so that it doesn't go live before them. Just as a heads up, the store will never go live unless you select store ready on the left-hand menu over here. If I have my open date set to a future date and I were to make the store ready right now, this store would not go live until the 23rd at 1:09 p.m. But what's more important is probably the close date. If you are generally, a lot of people will close their stores on a Sunday at midnight. I'm going to suggest that you actually close your store maybe on Monday, the following Monday at like 8 a.m. When you're in the office and you're ready to process the orders. Because I imagine most people are not working from midnight to 8 a.m. If as long as you fit in that category, I would suggest moving the store to the following Monday. That way, if you have a customer that's either up late or up early and they realize they forgot to place their order, you can then that store would stay open and it would allow them to kind of sneak their order in, and that might save you a phone call or an email about a late order that following day. The production due date and ship/delivery due date is all internal. No one would see this except for yourself. And this just shows up on your work order to let your production team know when those items need to be done. A customer handling fee can be added here. We are big advocates of our dealers adding a handling fee, generally because the handling fee is not, the Chipley fee is not charged on that handling fee. So this is a really easy way for you to recoup the cost of running the store on the platform in the first place. I generally see anywhere between $3 and $5 on a flat rate, and I've seen anywhere from 6 to 15% per order. You can also do a combo of the two if you would like. So if you want to do like $3 and 5%, the customer at checkout would only see $1 amount. It would just see the sum of the $3 plus the 5%. And then organization fee is more for, I would say, when you're closing a store. So if you have questions about that, and the notes down here are 100% internal, this is just for you to place a note in there for maybe when you need to close the store or if you need to copy the store. But after I have everything set here, I'm going to hit save. And then from here on out, I'm really just working my way down and up this left-hand menu. E-certs and promo codes, you may not be using them every time, but an e-cert is essentially an electronic gift card that you could give to certain people. They would use that code at checkout and it would take that dollar amount off their cart total. A promo code is similar, but there's a little bit more flexibility. This could be used as like a percent off either some items or all items. You could limit that code to only be used once per email, things like that. The big difference I would say is an e-cert is more like one code per person, and a promo code is generally one code for many people. The next thing I would do is my branding page. So this is how I'm going to make the store look and feel like it belongs to the group. So my header and footer is usually very easy to fill out. I'm probably just going to upload a logo here. And I generally try to use like a mascot logo or maybe like the embroidery file. And I will also choose to use the darker version, the artwork that would go like on light garments. And the reason being is because Chipley generates a store flyer for you if you would like it. And assuming you're printing those on white paper, that way the logo shows up better. But also this logo shows up on your packing slips as well, kind of in the same location. Again, assuming you're printing those on white paper, I try to avoid using a mostly white logo just so that later on down the road, I don't have a logo that looks kind of goofy when I print it out. If I need to change the contact info, I can, but if everything's good there, then I'm done with the header and footer, and then I just work my way down the slide content. Here is where Chipley provides a bunch of slide images for me to use. And I might just do I know there's a red one that we have here. I'll probably just do this. And then I do have to hit save on the store over here for that to upload. And now if I preview my store, I have my mascot logo in the upper left, and then I have my banner image here starting off. And then the slide logo is where I would upload the group's more exciting artwork. Um, and then that's going to sit right on top of that slide image, um, making the store start to really feel like it belongs to the group and really brand it out towards that group. You do have the ability to upload your own slide image if you would like. We do have the dimensions here. These are the suggested dimensions. The 2000 is pretty hard though. That's not really suggested. That's like what it should be. But the 500 is pretty malleable. You could do more or less. It's just going to either push more of the products down or bring them up, depending on how big you have that. But the 2000 is a pretty hard number. After that, I would include a countdown clock if it's a group store. And then this is where I would then say, if I have that store closing on the 9th at mid or the 9th in the morning, I'm going to suggest that at this point in time, I'm going to put that Sunday at midnight uh, so that the customer has that sense of urgency to get their order in before that deadline. So this is not connected to your settings page. And that's done intentionally so that you can, in a way, deceive your customers so that you can try to avoid even more late orders. The store checkout page, you might not be coming to every time, but this additional information fields is a really powerful tool when you need it. We always collect recipient first and last name at checkout as a default. If you want to be more specific, I could always adjust this to be player first name, student first name. I can change what that's going to be displayed as. Or if it's more of a corporate account and the person placing the order is generally the one receiving the order, I could remove those fields as well if I wanted to. But this is a great tool for like coaches and teachers who have students who might have, the parents are most likely placing the order on behalf of their kids. And if the last names don't match up, this is a really great way for the coaches and teachers to identify who that order belongs to. But I can also add more things for the customer to fill out at checkout. The most valuable one, I would say, is the list. This is where I can provide a selection for the customer to choose at checkout. So maybe I do like grade level as an example. And I could do first, second, third, and fourth, let's say. Whoops. And then the customer at checkout would be required to select one of those four options. And then when you're ready to pack your store, so when the store closes and you're packing your orders, you can choose to have those packing slips organized by this selection. So all your first grade orders would be grouped together. And then when you're done packing all of those, you can box them up, label them first grade, set it aside, and then you have all your second grade orders, and then just rinse and repeat that all the way through. That way, when you either deliver the items to the group or they come to pick it up, it's already pre-organized for them and it didn't add any work onto your plate. That's generally it for the branding page. So from here, this is where I'm going to skip on down and go straight to artwork. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the artwork that I have. So I'm going to hit the plus button up here and it is artwork. So I'm going to hit continue. And then I'm going to label my artwork, and I think I'm just going to do Spartan head. And then I'm going to scroll down where I can then choose my file. And I'm going to upload. I have two versions. I have a navy and a white. I'm going to upload one of them. And then I'm going to fill out my decoration color because this then shows up on my work order. So that way my production team knows how many colors are involved in this artwork. This one is just navy. And then this is going to go on my on red, gray, and white garments. And then I'm going to hit this plus button because I have the same artwork, but it's a different color. And I'm going to hit choose file again. And I'm going to upload the white version here. And the white will go on my navy garments. So me filling out these notes is great, but it doesn't really do anything other than provide notes on the work order. if I want Shipley to know the difference between a red garment and a navy garment, I want to essentially mirror my selection here by hitting select colors. And I'm going to do red, gray light, and white. And then this is going to map out for Chipley that this logo will then show up on my red, gray light, and white garments. And my white artwork is going to show up on my navy garments. So I'm going to hit save, and then I'll go back. And then in this case, I actually have a full front. So this will end up being my left chest embroidery file. But I have a full front that fits the same like format as this. I have a navy version and a white version. So to save myself some time, I might copy this artwork. And then I'm going to change my name. And then this will be, whoops, my beast logo. And then I'm going to upload the navy version over the top of my navy so that it matches the same descriptors here. And then I'm going to upload my white version over the white. And because all the descriptions fit the same thing, I can just hit save, and then I'm going to go back. I'm done. I've just uploaded a second artwork real quick. Now that I've uploaded my artwork, I want to go to the processes page, and this is where I'm going to set up like my jobs. So my artwork is a pretty generic name. I just have Spartan Head and Beast. My process is where I want to get a little bit more granular on the actual work that's being done. So I'm going to hit the plus button up here, and I might do full front print. Generally, I like to suggest that you put title your processes where the artwork's going, and then the type of decoration it is. A lot of you guys might have some more intricate naming processes in place, but if you're kind of just getting started, to keep things pretty simple, I would generally label things again, where that artwork is going and the type of decoration it is. And then I'm going to hit accept. And then that takes me into this job where it's pretty blank right now. So what I would want to do is I'm just going to upload artwork. So I need to add artwork to this job. So I'm going to hit the plus button here. Because I already uploaded artwork, I'm going to select from the dropdown for my existing artwork, and I want the Beast logo to be my full front. So I'm going to add that artwork there. And then Chipley says, where do you want this artwork to fall? I want this artwork to fall on the full front of my garments. I'm going to hit save, and then I'll go back, and then I can add another process. And then this one would be my left chest EMB. And then again, it takes me into the process where then I would add the artwork that I want associated with this process, and that's going to be the Spartan head. And I want this artwork to fall on the chest. If I was offering a left leg, then I would select the same thing, and then Chipley would know the difference between a left chest item versus a left leg item. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now I have my job set up. So really now I'm at the point where I need to add my products. So there's a couple ways that you can add items to your store. Oh, I thought I had this up. Either way, I'm going to start off by hitting the plus button from the products page. And then I can either add items, from our Chipley database, or I can select items from our templates. So the one way that you can add items is I have a couple sheets in here that when I do store builds with people, when I ask for the style numbers, I separate them out based on how I think they're going to be decorated. So these would be all my full front style numbers, where then I can copy this list. And because I have them separated by a comma, and because those are the exact style numbers, I'm going to go ahead and hit exact match. And then I'm going to hit search. By putting the commas in between each style number and by hitting exact match, it's going to allow me to search up all those style numbers at the same time. And then something to be weary of, the 8,000 is a pretty popular style number. SNS offers it, Sanmar offers it, and then Tri Mountain offered something, this jacket that was also 8,000. And then SNS also offers this Augusta, and so does Augusta, obviously. So something to pay attention to when you're adding items this way is you just want to be mindful of where do you intend to order these from. So if I wanted this 8,000 from Sanmar, I would uncheck the items that I don't want, or I could take it a step further and I could filter, and I know that all these items are either going to come from Sanmar or Augusta. And so I can break down my search field by those vendors. And now I'm left with the exact 4 items that I want to bring into my store. I would add those items and then I would just follow the prompts to add these items. The one thing, the one note to make, if you're going to add items to your store this way, you do only want to add your full front items at the same time and then add your left chest or your left leg items at the same time. So you kind of want to have your items pre-grouped based on how you plan to decorate them when you're adding them this way, which is kind of what I've done here. So this list is everything that would be done full front. This is everything that would be a left chest. Essentially, that's going to be embroidered. These are my hat embroideries. And then I had some heat press stuff on there. The other way that you could add items to your store is by utilizing the templates. We talked about this 2 weeks ago when we did our template webinar. So please check in to see that link to learn more on the templates. But I would switch over to the templates here. And then Chipley has templates. If you've created your own, you would switch over to my templates. But I'm going to use a Chipley template today. And then I am going to pick the template I want. Today I'm going to do an Under Armour Sanmar light store. Just to briefly review, the difference between a light and a store is product offering. A store is going to offer a more robust product selection. You're going to see shorts, joggers, hats, beanies, things like that on a store, versus a light store is going to be more just your t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, crew necks, maybe some quarter zips and some full zips. A very broad spirit wear offering. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit search. Here are all those items that are in that template. If I want to leave off certain items, so maybe I don't want youth items on this store, I could go ahead and unselect those youth items right from here. But in this case, I'm just going to bring them all in. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit add selected products. There's 27 items. I'm going to hit accept. I'm not going to put items into a category just yet. I'm going to hit next. And then Chipley, because I'm using a template, Chipley's asking or saying, hey, these items are most often decorated as a full front. So we group them together for you. I want to put them into my full front process. So I've already created that job. I want to just put them into that job. And then for these items, these are often decorated as a left chest embroidery. So I want to put them in my left chest embroidery. I'm going to hit next. And now it's going to say, what colors do you want to offer on your store? I want to offer gray light, navy, red, and white on all the applicable items. And then I'm going to go ahead and select all these sizes, except I don't want to offer youth extra small generally or 2 extra small just because of the print size that goes along with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And then I can choose right away to use my inventory threshold. So that's one less thing I have to do. And then I also want to add maybe $3 of fundraising on every item in the store right away. I'm going to go ahead and hit done, and it's going to start bringing those items into the store. So one thing that Chipley has done a really great job of is when we create our templates, we do a really great job of having like the branded items on that template, as well as some non-branded items or some of those milled items that are companion styles with it. There's a couple reasons why we do that. One is inventory issues. So if the branded item is out of stock, hopefully the non-branded item has better inventory, and you can still allow the purchase of a similar item on your store, even when the branded item is out of stock, um, hoping to boost your sales. And then the other reason is, especially because we've heard from specific vendors in the industry that branded apparel sales have been a little bit more flat this year. But those like non-branded apparel items, the sales have actually gone up. So I think it's really important if you're adding items onto your store, even if you're not using a template, to try and find a non-branded comparable, because we think what's happening a lot is maybe the parents or the guardians are buying their student or their athlete the branded item, and then they're going to buy themselves two or three of the non-branded items because they can get more items for roughly the same cost as those branded items. So a really great technique to help boost sales on your stores would be to accommodate a branded item and a non-branded item companion style next to it. So these items are now all in my store. If I were to refresh my preview page, I now have a store that's already branded. My logo is on and it's already separated. It knows to put the navy on those lighter colors and the white on the navy because I map those out at the artwork page. Same thing with my left chest items as well. I don't think there's something that Chipley will do. There's not an example here, but if a branded logo happens to be on the left chest, we will see that and we will automatically put the mockup to be opposite of the brand logo. So that's one less thing that you would have to worry about when putting items on your store for artwork. Now that I have all the items in my store, I'm pretty much just finalizing a few things on this page. I'm going to go down my list here and update my pricing. And I'll just go down the list, update those. We do have an auto pricing method if you're interested in learning more about. I would definitely say reach out to us. That is a webinar that we will do in the future as well that will tackle more of our auto pricing structure that can help you price things out a little bit faster. But as an entry-level store build, I'm just going over where you would change that price. So the product price column is where you're going to change what you're selling the item for before fundraising. So because I put that $3 in fundraising when I was adding the items to my store, it already added that $3 to every item. The next thing I would do is probably just take a peek at inventory because I had the inventory thresholds turned on. I now have this little snapshot of the product's health where 67% might not be ideal. So maybe I just want to take a peek at this one item and I can see the inventory is really just kind of those fringe sizes. So I'm not worried. So even though 67% doesn't look great, when I scale in and look at that item a little bit more, it looks fine to me. 50% doesn't necessarily look the best though. It's just a couple of these. Maybe I turn off white because the inventory doesn't look great, and maybe I know it's not coming back, just to improve my score here a little bit. However, if you stock that item, let's say, I could, on an individual level, turn off the inventory threshold so that now I'm overriding the system. So maybe I stock mod gray, but I don't stock extra small and I don't stock 2XL. And maybe I stock white, but kind of the same thing. I don't stock extra small or 2XL. So I would offer only the sizes that I would stock. And then the one that did have inventory, I do just want to make sure that maybe I don't stock red, but I want to make sure the vendor has healthy inventory before I offer it. So that's a way to offer products on your store that you might stock by avoiding the vendor inventory. Really, outside of that, it might just be me having to adjust maybe a logo here and there. If I thought maybe a logo was a little large or a little small or sitting a little high on a product, it's not exactly where you would want it. I could review individual items by hovering over this and selecting the review. Then I would select the gear, and then this would allow me to make those necessary changes of where I want that artwork displayed. The other thing I can do is select the items in my store. And if I have a lot of, like, there's kind of a decent amount of gray and just navy being shown on the store, I could choose store-wide actions, and I could randomize the display colors. And then this would really mix up the colors that are being displayed on the store a little bit more. And then I can just repeat that. That still has a lot of gray, but there's more white involved there. So a little bit more variety, but I would just repeat doing that until I have a combination that I think works best. Generally, that's, I think, it. What I would suggest after you've got the store done, your pricing is all done, things like that. I would suggest copying the preview link and then emailing that over to your contact and letting them use that as like the proof, so that way they could navigate the store, go into each item, and just make sure that everything looks the way they intended it to. Um, and then once they give you the approval, then you could pop back into the store, select store ready, and then Chipley's going to stop and say, "Hey, are you sure you want those automated emails that we had on earlier?" I'm going to suggest that you should. So you'll leave that checked off, and then you'll hit store ready one more time. And then that store will go live whenever you have the open date set to on that settings page. Other than that, I think that's it.
Perfect. All right, feel free to ask some questions. Craig, there's already a couple of them in here, so if you're ready,
Cool. Yeah,
we can just
yeah,
kind
go
of
ahead.
answer them kind of together. Um, can you change a group store to a catalog store after the store has been done?
Yeah, sorry, I should share my screen again. Yeah, pretty easily. So that's happened to me a decent amount of times where I meant to create it as a catalog store and I was just on autopilot and created it as a group store. I didn't panic. I continued building the store all the way out, as if it were my catalog store. And then when I was ready, all I did is I went to my scheduled stores. I found that store, so here, and then I copied it as a catalog store. And then I just adjusted some things on the settings page to make it, fit the structure of the catalog store. And then when I was all done, I came back, I made sure that it was the group store, and then I went and deleted that store just so it wasn't in my face and I didn't get them confused anymore.
Perfect. All right. In the branding area, we normally put a small message to the customers about the terms of their purchases. Is there a way I can have a message be defaulted to when I open a new store?
Yeah, that's going to be found under my account and then under branding. And then from here, it looks very similar. You have your additional information in your terms. You could put in your message here. And then every new store that you create going forward, those messages are going to populate on the branding page for you to edit as needed. One caveat to that or to remember is that when you make that change here, it doesn't just affect the stores that you work with, it affects everyone's stores. So you want to make sure that that message resonates with everyone within the company, not just you.
Perfect. Do you want to go over adding categories into
Oh yeah,
the
absolutely.
store?
All right. Yes. So to add categories, I'm going to go to the categories page and I'm going to hit add a category and I can put in my categories here. So I'll do adults, ladies, and youth. I'll add those categories. I'll hit accept. And then I'm going to go into the products page And now I have to assign those products to those categories. So a really easy way to do this is I'm going to hover over my speed dial and filter what I'm looking at here by no category, um, which doesn't really do anything for me at first because everything needs to be categorized. But then what I can do is I'm going to search up keywords within the product names. I usually always search up women and children items first. It's not because I'm chivalrous. It's because if I were to type in men's, women's items show up. So I'll do women. Here's all those women's items. I'm going to select those. And then I'm going to click on the bulk actions button. I'm going to do choose category, and I'm going to change it to be the ladies category. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search up ladies. And there's just a few items that are labeled ladies. Select all of those. Update my category to be ladies. And then we'll do youth. Here's all those items. Select everything and just repeat this, but put them in the youth category. And then because I know I have Under Armour items on the store, I usually try to do like boy and girl just because I know that that is how some of those products are listed. Um, can't remember if there's any like that. I think there's at least one item in the store like that. Yeah, so here's this boys. Because it's just one item, I might just click over here and put that in the youth instead of having to do all the bulk actions. And then we'll try girl just to be safe. It looks like there's nothing like that. And now I'm not going to search by anything, but I am still filtered by no category, which should leave me with all my my adult apparel. So really all I have to do now, select everything. I generally like to scroll down and just make sure that nothing slipped into this group. Do my bulk actions, change category, change, put that into adult. And then when everything disappears, because I'm filtered by no category, when I don't see anything left, that is kind of like my fail-safe to let me know that everything has been categorized. And now when I refresh the store, I have a nice organized category list of my adult ladies and youth items.
Perfect. I just want to let you know that someone said that that's going to save them so much time, you showing them that.
Cool.
So, okay. There was one question that I saw that was a good one. In case someone ever adds a product and the logo isn't showing, do you just want to show them how to go to the review page and place that?
Sure. So there's a couple reasons that may happen. One, you might want to double check the process that the product is in. So like for example, this half zip, if I accidentally add this to my full front process, because the artwork inside that process I had identified as full front, I'm gonna get this warning sign. Um, and this is just kind of like a, hey, the artwork that you have and the process that this product is in isn't generally decorated with a full front because of the zipper. Are you sure this is in the correct process? So maybe all I have to do is just make sure that that's in the correct process. After I update that, everything's good. But there may be times where maybe an artwork isn't showing up. You may need to, that might be one where you reach out to us just to make sure that the product is set up correctly. But there may be times where you are decorating an item and you have an artwork placed in the other location. That would be, that's more like Shipley isn't sure where you want to put that artwork. So it's going to bring this triangle up each time. And essentially that's just saying you have artwork assigned to this product, but it's not showing on the product. So anytime I see that, I might just go to the gear button here. I'm going to hit the plus button, which brings up all the artwork that I have associated with this process. I'm going to select that. And then from here now I can place that item on my garment. And now it will display on the store and then my warning goes away.
Perfect. I think this is a good question that's kind of outside of creating a store, but if if I need to reopen a store again, do I go to the settings of that store and change the date, or would I have to copy the store and reopen it that way?
Yeah, that is a good question. That is situational, I would say. So if the store is closed and you have orders on it, if you haven't printed anything out, you haven't purchased it, you haven't started processing that store, by all means, yes. You're just going to go to the settings page and extend that close date another day and change the time to be, so you're going to maybe give it a shorter open window um, for the customer to finalize their order or get their late order in. Um, However, if you have started processing the store, you've printed things out, you've started purchasing things, I'm going to suggest you copy that store um, because Chipley's really good at tallying up what needs to be ordered and organizing things and how it needs to be decorated. But if I reopen a store that I've already started working on, and someone adds their order, it's just going to add on the tally of what needs to be decorated and what needs to be ordered. So you run a higher risk of accidentally reordering something that you've already produced or reproducing something you've already done. So I would suggest copying the store and running that copied version of the store for the customer. The benefit of it, again, is you can reuse that URL. So the customer will have no idea it's a completely different store for you. But then what's also nice is while I'm in the settings page here, maybe I add a per order fee and I make it a late fee and I put on the $20 there for the customer. And then, that's probably a conversation you would have while you're on the phone or in an email with the customer and just say, hey, just as a heads up, I can take your order, but there will be a $20 late fee because we've already started processing things. And then because this is only on the copied version of the store, the customer would then just be charged that additional $20 at checkout. And then internally on your end, when that store closes, you're going to try and catch it up to all your other orders. But you definitely, I think, want to copy it when you've already started producing it, just to keep the orders separated.
Perfect. Here's a good one. Oh, can an item have more than one category?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of times I argue that um, ladies can also be adults. So why not just put this in the ladies and the adults category? And then I can put one item in multiple categories. So that ladies item will show up in the adult, but it also shows up in the ladies category as well.
Okay. I guess we could quickly go over this one too. Or actually, here's a good one. Can you show us how to copy a store?
Yeah. So from my dashboard, I'm going to find the store that I want to copy using the pages on the left-hand menu over here. So if I just go to all, this will let me search through every store that's ever been built. I could search up basketball. Here's all the stores that are basketball. You would probably make your search a little bit more specific, but once I have everything here, I can hover over the store name, and then the buttons are the floating buttons are over here, and then I would copy that store as a group store, catalog, template, however I want to copy it as.
Perfect. And then let's see here. I think we could probably end on this next question because we're
Perfect.
getting close to an hour. But do you just want to quickly go over how to add an item that is not in like the chip list, or just adding a
Like a custom item.
custom? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the products page because that's where I'm going to add my product. I'm going to hit the plus button. And because it's a custom item, it's not a Chipley product or in the template, it's actually a custom. So I'm going to select this button up here. And then I'm just going to fill out all the info for that product. So where I'm ordering it from, maybe it's a custom thing that you're doing. So I might do custom, I'll do a style number or whatever identifier that you want to use to order or place that order. The name, you're just filling all this stuff out, and then you can put in your product price. Here at this point in time, you could also do your fundraising while you're in here. You can put in a description of the product, a size chart of the product. And then after I have all that info, if you're shipping on the store, you want to put some sort of weight in there, especially if you're integrated with ShipStation. Because then again, that'll charge the customer the rate based on the weight of their cart. And then I would add my sizes. So I can do this rather quickly. I could do like youth small, youth medium, youth large. Add all my sizes. I'm going to hit add sizes. I'm done here. If I needed to add any oversized charges, this is where I would do it as well. And now that I have my sizes added, I need to add my colors. So maybe I just have, I don't know, one color. I'll add that. I'm going to hit the pencil button. This is now where I can upload up to 4 images of that product. Image 1 is generally always, that's the display image. That's what's always going to be shown first. So I have this product that I was building earlier. So, and then the image 2, I generally always try to do a back image if I have it. I'll hit accept. And then now those are the 2 images of my product. I can go back. And then while I'm in here, I may as well choose my color size grid. And I'm just going to offer all these sizes right away. And then I can put this into my adults category, let's say, while I'm in here. Now that I have all that done, here, we'll just do description, so you can see where that shows up. And now when I refresh my page, under my adult category is my custom item that I put here. And then after I click on it is where you can see the description example that I typed in. And then here's all those sizes that I put in there. All right. Cool.
Perfect. Cool. All right. So we are going to end the webinar here. It's been just about an hour. There's still some questions in here. Some of them are not quite related to creating an online store, but as always, feel free to send us an email at teamchipley@chipley.biz, and we have a whole team there to help you guys out. So always feel free to reach out to us. So
yeah.
But
And then we recorded this. We will edit it so that it's a little bit cleaner. And then we will make sure to send out the link with that recording, which can be great to share with any new employees that you might have or anyone who may have missed the training. just so that they can get the quick refresher since we had a decent amount of updates over the last couple months.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And again, if you think something is a little too hard, like you mentioned, that the category is going to save, putting those items into a category is going to save someone so much time. If you think something is like too hard, there's probably an easier way to do it. You just have to reach out, and we might have like some advice for you to make your life a little bit easier. But other than that, have a great day, everyone. Thanks.